Hi everybody and welcome to Tosso Show, and today we're gonna play another episode of Higurashi When They Cry Kai. This will be the episode number 6 of the whole franchise, so don't forget that overall the game is just named Higurashi When They Cry or Higurashi no Naku Koro Ni in the Japanese version of the game. And I don't remember the name of that particular episode, but we'll see it together when we're gonna start here. One quick thing that I will do is to take a screenshot here, and let's get started. I may do approximately 30 minutes of this. Tsumihoroboshi. Okay, so episode 6 it's Okay, let's try again. Episode 6 is Tsumihoroboshi, the first fall. And this is the Atonement chapter. How is you reasoning toward the truth coming along? The next tragedy is ready for you. Enjoy. This is a humorous story with a tragic struggle at the end. The difficulty is 0. You can just enjoy the clowns milling about? I don't know how to say that in English. Anyway, today this episode will be mostly about Rena as a character, if I remember properly, at least remember properly from the anime. And I'm very excited to know more about this one because that's one of those moments in the anime that I don't remember much about. I don't remember what's going on. I think that you see the life of Rena a bit more, which means that you also see like what happened in our past and our family, which is something that we never saw. Like visiting Rena's house was something very hidden in previous games. And episode 5, by the way, which I finished today, which today is January 2nd, 2020, at least when I'm doing that recording from an audio standpoint. I don't know when I'm gonna upload that, but 2021. I hope I said 2021 because we're on the new year. But episode 5 was basically a version of episode 2 through the eye of somebody else. I'm not going to give more details about that because I want you to actually play it and not necessarily have a lot of spoils. But this one, I think, I don't necessarily remember exactly what's happening. I don't know if it's an answer to Onikakushi Hen. I don't really know it's the case. Onikakushi Hen is the first episode ever of the game. I think it's more about seeing more about Rena in general, I think. But I don't remember how it ends. I don't know like how people die in this version or if there's actually any of this happening in this one. But anyway, we're getting closer and closer to the final set of episodes because episode 7 and episode 8 are the last two. Episode 7 do, I think, give the answer really about what happened. But then episode 8 is how to potentially, like, looking at all the missing pieces and potentially fixing it, right? I hope it's not too much of a spoil, but I'll take the risk of saying that. Anyway, it's not really giving you a lot of details, but we're gonna get started and see what's happening on Tsumihoroboshi. The first time, I would try harder to avoid the inevitable tragedy. The second time, I would be disgusted with the inevitable tragedy. The third time, my disgust would turn into anguish. The 7th time, I'll be laughing by then. Federica Ben Canston. The chorus of the Higurashi has replaced that of the cicadas. Their cries from a distance echoed loudly and then faded away. They sounded so weak and fragile. Rena's voice was just like the cries of Higurashi. She'd say something, but the words would quickly fade away. She sounded so fragile that it made me worry she might vanish into thin air along with her words. But nobody is pressuring her to continue. Mion dusted off the hood of an abandoned car and sat down on it as if to show how relaxed she was. She actually did look very relaxed, as if she came here to enjoy the cool breeze of the evening or something. Satoko followed Mion's example and sat down as well. She didn't look nearly as relaxed, however. I thought about following suit, but it felt rude to look away from Rena, even for the short time it would take to look for a place to sit down, so I decided to remain standing. Rika-chan didn't sit down either, but she wasn't looking at Rena. Everybody else was looking at Rena, but Rika-chan was looking at the red sky. Alright, just a little bit of information before I continue to read what's written on the screen. Higurashi no Naku Koro Ni is a visual novel. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing that I can do but to read. That's basically what the game is about. It's really like a novel. And you can see that the way that it's being done, if you didn't see my previous episode, you may not know, but generally you always have that background image that is kind of what 07's expansion, the company that created those games, did is basically they took real pictures and then they added a lot of effects, so it looks a little bit more washed out and pastelized in a way, which I think gives it a certain charm, right? And you can see that the text is in front of it, and that's basically the way that the whole game would look like. Sometimes you will see some sprites, some 2D character, well, some sprites, some character design popping up, or some characters, but not always. And you will see that there's also a group of 4 people that are very, very important in this game, which we just talked about. Rena Ryugu, who is actually one of the other important character here, I think. Mion Sonozaki, Satoko Hojo, and Rika Furude. So those are the 4 characters that you will hear the most about during that whole game. And our main protagonist, which sometimes appears, sometimes does not, is Keiichi Maebara. I don't know if Keiichi is the one saying things here, but we'll see that soon enough. It could be somebody else, but I'm not 100% sure at that point. So let's continue to read. Rika-chan's expression was hard to describe. She looked pale and blank at the same time, as if all of her emotions were gone. Rena wore the same kind of expression. She kept trying to say something, but it seemed like the words were stuck in her throat. She noticed Rika-chan was looking at the sky, so she decided to look at that way as well. Mion did the same. So did I. Satoko looked that way too. And with that, there was silence. It was like we were in a concert hall, filled with a chorus of a Higurashi, a concert hall with the highest roof in the world. A refreshingly cool breeze tickled our sweaty bodies. I could almost make myself believe we came here to enjoy the breeze and the sunset. I could only wish that was what we came here for. The shadows of the birds flying across the sky soared the feeling of our quiet concert. They reminded us that time hadn't stopped. Nobody wanted to pressure Rena. We didn't want time to pressure her either. We wanted to keep the cool red sky as long as we could, so Rena could come down and talk. Right then, I heard a sound, and it brought us all back to reality. The hood Mion was sitting on had made a noise when she moved to cross her legs. I don't know whether Mion made the noise on purpose or not, but it reminded us that time had been passing by. The noise took our attention away from the sky and back to the ground. Such a tasteless noise seemed to have urged Rena to speak. Rena heaved a small sigh, nodded as if she understood something, and looked at us like she always did. There's one thing I want to say before anything else. She was probably saying it to everybody, but since I'm standing in the middle, with her looking at me, I nodded to her to represent our agreement. I think I did the right thing. Her voice wasn't hoarse anymore. She sounded just like she always did. I wonder how much we're allowed to struggle in order to be happy. It sounded like a question, but nobody answered. I'll stop here for a quick minute just to talk about some of the items that you can see on the bottom right. You have a quick save to save super quickly, but then this disappears. That's just a one-time save. Quick load, same thing to load the quick save. Menu, which brought you like different items like saving, real save and load, config to change stuff. Hide text box to just hide things, and I can see only that. Return to main menu, which I'm not gonna do, and quick game, right? So it's pretty straightforward. Then you have a log. So when you look at log, it just shows you all the sentences that happened before, right? And it goes pretty far. So if you really want to reread stuff, you can. You can skip, which will make things go super fast, and auto will just move things around itself. Skip is good if you want to, for example, just go to the best moments of the game and you want to just record something or something like that. I always wanted to do that. So far I didn't. I kept all the previous episodes installed to do that. But we'll see. Maybe I'll do it. And auto is just moving by itself, which generally I don't really like because I want to read at my own pace. Anyway, let's continue. That's why I really like Mi-chan's club. The one rule is to do whatever it takes to win, right? I think that's wonderful. If we were only allowed to do nice things, and if there was a limit to how much we could struggle, people who aren't happy wouldn't be able to seize happiness at all. Misfortunes are like a chain reaction, I think. I don't know if it's still Rena talking here. I'm gonna continue with what I did as another voice for Rena. Misfortunes are like a chain reaction, I think. Once they begin, they are very hard to escape. In order to escape the shame of misfortunes, you need more than just luck or even assistance. I think you need to struggle as hard as you possibly can. You need to do your best. That's how you seize true happiness. That's what I believe. Rena stopped talking, looked up, heaved a sigh, and opened her mouth again. But I'm not saying that I expect you to accept what I did. I know that was a very bad thing to do. Didn't you all look stunned a while ago? That tells me everything. I've never seen her smile so self-derisively like this. That smile looked unbelievably painful. I could really feel how huge the distance between us was. There's nothing physically here, but I felt as if she's talking to us through iron bars or a chain-like fence. That's how great the distance between us was. But it's okay. There's nothing we can do about it. That's just how things are in the world. In this world. If I were you, I'd probably look just as stunned and I'd say something irresponsible and merciless. She probably said that to hit back at us. We are just putting on a mask of sympathy, enjoying the spectacle of a clown on a stage. That's why she said that. She probably expected us to say something in return, but none of us knew what to say. Rena looked disappointed for a moment, then turned and clambered on top of an abandoned car. Then, she spread her arms out and gave a little twirl, letting her skirt below up before she grabbed both hands and gave us a graceful curtsy. Well then, are you ready for a story? This is the story of how Rena Ryugu did her best. There was no curtain or spotlight. She was atop an abandoned car amidst the trash piles, a stage specially made for her. We tried not to miss a word of what she was about to say. We believed that was the least we could do to not hurt her feelings. Chapter 6 Tsumihoroboshi Higurashi When They Cry Kai. I don't know if it's Kai or Kai. Alright, it seems that for some reason Rena did something that nobody apparently liked. I don't know what it is, but something that actually made all her friends shocked in a way. And it seems that's what she's going to talk about right now. So it'll be interesting to see if Rena is the main character in this case, because in all the previous episodes, or at least episode 1 to 3, Keiichi was the main character. Episode 4, you have a new character which I already forgot his name, but that's a detective. And that was actually in the past, before whatever happened in Higurashi per se. Episode 5 was another character, and like I said earlier, I'm not going to say who that is, but that's another person. And this episode, I don't know yet. We'll see. Alright, let's continue. Let's say it's a winter month like December right now. What would you do if, all of a sudden, you had a week of hot and humid days with crying cicadas? Would you still wear your coat and scarf? Absolutely not, right? Even though it's still June, it's already summer to us, since we've been having hot days for so long. So it's totally okay to do this kind of club activity in June. At my school, everybody usually does what they want in PE, physical education, PE class, but today would be an exception. All my classmates were gathered in the schoolyard. Mion looked over everybody gathered there, then spoke up loudly. Alright, so you can see here, for example, a sprite of Mion Sonozaki. And just to show you something particular, on the menu, I decided to put what they call the original character sprite done by Ryu Kishi, the main author of the game from 07 expansion. But you can do the updated version, and then you can see like a different design per se. Personally, I'm not necessarily a fan of the updated design. It's not that it's bad or anything, but it's just, it doesn't seem natural to me because they changed it. I would prefer to just have the original, and I know the original have a lot of weirdness to it as well, right? I know that people always have things to say about that design, right? So if I show you a little bit more in details, those hands are super weird, right? I know that there's a lot of questions about those kind of stuff in the past. But for me, I think that it still gives a certain charm when you play a game with the old design per se. But anywho, I digress. Let's go back to the game. Hey everyone, you ready? Yay! They all raise the water guns in their hands. It's okay to use water guns in June because it's been so hot and humid. All my classmates were joining in, so it's gonna be a big water gun battle. I'm so excited. It is so exciting to do a club activity with everyone from class. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun to play outside with everybody together. It's going to be fun for them, but we have to be serious because we can't lose. Well, yeah, for us club members, every game comes with a risk. Hehehe. Exactly. I look forward to the punishment our more careless members are going to suffer. Good luck, everyone. I'm so pumped. Everybody listen up. Did you all check your guns? Are you thankful? We are ready. Oh, that was my bar. Okay. I'm so pumped. Everybody listen up. Did you all check your gun? Are you thankful? We are all ready, my Barasan. We're very good at guns battle. Tomita and his friends play with water guns a lot, so they might have an advantage. We're different men today. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun smiled confidentially, holding their guns in a practice manner. So you see, that's one of the weaknesses of that game, per se, or at least that visual novel, is that sometimes you don't necessarily know who is talking, because there's not real, way to understand that who said we already Maibara-san. Was that the people from... Was that Satoko? Was that Rika? Probably not, because otherwise we would show their sprite, right? So my guess is that was Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, were two other kids from the school. But it's hard to tell, right? Anyway, let's continue. Their skills must give them confidence. They even look different. As we all know, Mion is going to be a tough opponent, but I think Satoko and Rika-chan could be too. What about you, Rena? You can move fast, but you could end up being their target as well, so be careful. I think that was my bad, that was Keishi, but that's okay. You've been losing a lot of games lately and taking most of the punishments. It's just that the recent games weren't my specialty. But Keiichi-kun, I think you've been losing a lot these days too, haven't you? Hahaha! You have no idea how miserable I was when I had to go home wearing a bra and my mom saw me in it right before I was about to take it off. Ah! My last punishment was as terrible as yours. I'm ruined for marriage after having to do that. Satoko laughed at us loudly while we were shuddering at the memory of the cruel punishments we suffered in the past. Ho 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 ho! You've been low on both luck and spirit. I know why you've been losing so frequently. That's because, you see, you're both losers. Hehehe. She's right. Once you get used to losing, you just can't stop. After all those losses, your fighting spirit fades away. When you can't believe in yourself, nothing goes right, even if you're doing the same thing as everyone else. You! Haven't you realized that Rena and I took those punishments on purpose because we wanted to spare you that fate? You should be thanking us, not calling us losers. Oh, is that so? I'm very sorry for not thanking you enough then. Satoko, you just added oil to the flames of my rage. I'll make you regret what you just said. That's the spirit, Kei-chan. This old man hopes you can at least last long enough to serve as entertainment. Rena, you too. You'd be embarrassed if you were the first one to get shot. But I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I too think Rena-chan is going down first. Prepare yourself for a bad time. Oh. No. Mi-chan, Sadako-chan, you're so mean. Rena and Keiichi, go for it! Yay! Mion and Satoko laughed at us as loud as they could, then moved on to tease their next target. Left alone, all I could do was stomp on the floor in anger. Damn it! I'm going to win! I can't let them laugh at me like that again. I agree. It feels bad to have them laugh at us like that. It's not only how it feels, it's also how they stepped on my pride. Damn it! Like Mi-chan said, it might be true that you can stop losing once you get used to it. That's why we have to win today, no matter what, so we can get even. Rena's eyes look different. She's usually a funny and witty person, but I know she has the determination to do what she needs to. When Rena looks like this, she can be a tough opponent. Today, I'll follow the first club rule. I'm going to do everything I can to win. Well, I don't know, I guess that's what's Rena. Today, I'll follow the first club rule. I'm going to do everything I can to win. Oh, you sound determined. You sound cool. But also as if you've been going easy on them before. Rena smiled. Or maybe you could have called it a wicked grin. She was serious. She was serious about what she said. I could tell that from her expression alone. Among all the club members, Rena is easily the most sensible one. The rule of our club is that we can do anything in order to win, but she is the only one who has moral qualms in doing it. That's why we rarely have a hard time against her, except for when she snaps. It's rare to hear her say that she won't go easy. Damn it! When you grind like that, you leave me no choice. I have to be super serious about this too. I always have to fight with all I have in our club, but I believe there's a time when I have to get super serious about it. I think today's the time. Indeed. Yes! We pounded our fists together. Usually when we really don't want to lose the game, one asks the other to work together, but Rena didn't ask this time, which meant that she was going to try to defeat everybody by herself. No, not try. She was going to do it by herself. Rena looked really cool at that moment, but I wasn't scared. If she was seriously going to do it, I'd have to be serious and do it too. My fighting spirit has been dented after many losses, but it had begun to burn hard once more. You look good too, Keiichi-kun. You're even scaring me a little. You look like you're going to defeat everybody all by yourself. I know that's what you're going to do too. Does that mean we're going to fight against each other at the very end? We would, if we defeated everybody else. I hope you'll be the last one I have to fight against. Yeah, me too. We pounded our fists together again. Does everyone remember the rules? You have to call it out when you get hit. Once you're hit, You can't shoot anymore. You can't shoot anyone. Even if you did, it wouldn't count. Mion, I'd like to confirm the definition of being hit one last time. When somebody shoots you with a water gun, you're hit. Hehehe, I'll break it down more for you, Kei-chan. You're only hit when it's water from a water gun. In other words, you're not hit when somebody splashes you with a bucket of water. Only direct shots from a water gun count. I'm sure you're not so scared of Satoru-chan's trap attack now, huh? Oh, I will still have many kinds of traps ready for you. Rena-san, you'll be my first target. Hahaha, I don't think so. You're not strong enough to take me down yet. What did you just say? Oh, I can't believe Rena gave Satoko tit for tat. This is going to be fun. Hehehe. Don't you think so, Kei-chan? I don't think so. At least not for you, because all you'll be doing is choosing which of us is going to shoot you first. Keiichi seems determined to win. Mion seemed to sense the fighting spirit in me and Rena. I could tell that she's as serious as we are, just from the way she looks. Alright! I like your spirit! Are you all ready to start? Everybody get to your positions! The ones you drew by lot earlier. I don't understand that sentence. Everybody has to draw lots to pick a place to start the game from. Oh, okay. It wouldn't be fun if everybody was close together at the beginning of the game. By the way, my starting position was behind the school building. When I drew the starting position, I thought about hiding until there were only a few people left like I did in our last game of tag. But a defensive tactic like that wasn't interesting to me anymore. I hadn't been this excited in a long time. My legs were shaking with the excitement. It was my first time experiencing that kind of feeling. I could hear Mion's countdown from some distance away. 3, 2, 1. A single shot of a toy pistol echoed. With that sound, I was already running around the building. There had to be some underclassmen right nearby. I'd usually assume that somebody else would take care of them, but this time was different. Roya! They stood frozen in fear as I ran towards them, screaming at the top of my voice. They took a moment to quickly decide whether to fight or to run away, and in that moment, I shot one after another. Sorry guys! You just got unlucky with where you started. I felt bad for them because they lost the game so quickly, so I rubbed their heads to cheer them up, and then took their water guns. Yes, that was the key factor in this game. You can't put very much water in a water gun. With 10 people around you in a gun battle, the water would be gone in a minute. I abandoned the gun I used to shoot them, held one of their guns in each hand, and scoped out the schoolyard. And it's a fight, people. Can you hear that music? Ba-da-da-da-da. Just like I expected, there was an intense battle happening there. In the short time it took me to take care of the area behind the school building, it seems like most of my classmates were already shot. I wasn't surprised, for I kind of knew it would happen. You need to have a high skill to fight in the open schoolyard. Especially when most of the club members were there, it must have been like a battle of elephants and ants. But what is it that Mion is holding? Mion was holding a different water gun from the one she had when the game started. She was now holding one that looked like a huge machine gun. Its strange capability, its pump action shooting, and the amount of water it can hold were way beyond comparison. There were no restriction of what kind of water guns we could use today. As long as it's a water gun, we were allowed to use any kind. Most of us have a normal pistol-style water gun from a local toy store or something similar. I would have bought a bigger one like Mion's if it had one, but they weren't in stock and I'd have to order it in. In other words, Mion orders hers a long time ago just for today. She's always well prepared when it comes to winning. She must have thought that we wouldn't allow her to use the big gun water if she shut it off before the game started, so she must have hidden it somewhere. It looks like most of our classmates were shot right after the game started. Only a few were still alive, trying to survive as long as they could by using the heavy construction equipment as a shield. Mion mercilessly shot at them from various angles to make them come out from behind the shield. Stop hiding, cowards! Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were trying their best to resist her attack from behind their shield. It looked like they had no chance against her, but that actually wasn't true. After all, the two of them were only still alive because of their experience in water gun battles. They survived the first few minutes of her assault, even though 99% of their classmates didn't, and they were still surviving at that very moment. Mion, however, is also a battle-hardened soldier. She used the advantage of her big water tank and gradually but certainly drove them into a corner. It was only a matter of time until she broke them down. We cornered! It's not fair that she has a machine gun! All we have to do is survive till a tank runs low. We don't stand a chance against her when she's shooting at us like this. They tried to hold out against her, but all they could do for now was to keep running behind cover as Mion strafed closer and closer to them. They wanted to use their 2 against 1 advantage, but it seems like they wouldn't even get that chance. If they tried attacking recklessly, one of them might get shot, and then the other would have no chance of winning. So they grew more cautious, placing their bet on their final chance, but that caused their offense to wane. Of course, Mion saw through their plan. She was purposely provoking them so that they would lose their patience and start attacking her recklessly. Mion circled around the construction equipment, and now she was standing with her back towards me. If I went up against her machine gun fair and square, I wouldn't stand a chance. So attacking from behind would be the only way for me to defeat her. Even though she was in a defenseless position, there was some distance between us. I was still too far away, but it would still be better to attack her now than to take her down, to take her head down. Don't hesitate, Keishi. You won't have this chance again. I stepped out from my hiding place and ran as fast as I could towards her with 2 water guns in my hands. Instead of approaching slowly and silently, I screamed at the top of my lungs. Warrior! Mio! What? There you are, Kei-chan. Mio seemed a little shocked by my surprise attack, but she immediately pulled herself together. She knew the advantages of her weapon. But she didn't shoot me just yet. She held back, drawing me closer. Mion was well aware of how much water she had left. If she had the same kind of water gun as me, we would have had the same range capability, so it would have been down to our technique to decide the winner. If she was fighting against one of her underclassmates, she could have defeated them easily. Mion immediately calculated her chance of winning against me and figured that her only chance was to use the advantage of a water gun. She saw the eyes of a tiger in me and recalculated her chance of winning in a split second. Really, I can admire how fast she does those things. I ran at top speed to shorten the distance between us. Our strength should have been equal. I had 2 water guns with full tanks and she had a machine gun with a half-empty tank. We both waited for the perfect moment. Your fighting spirit deserves my respect, Kei-chan. I'm not sure if I would have been a match for you today if I didn't have this gun. I'm disappointing in you, Mion. Your calculations are off today. Did you say you thought you could beat me? Because you don't stand a chance. The moment we stepped within range, Mion and I pulled our triggers at the same time. Mion set her sights squarely on me while I was trying to shoot and run at the same time. Her shot would obviously be more accurate than mine. My shot of water flew towards nowhere. Mion didn't even need to duck. But Mion's shot made a beautiful arc straight toward my chest. I could see the line of water coming straight at me, but I was too unstable to dodge. Mion had no doubt that she got me. You need more than spirit to defeat me. I knew you'd be the first to go down. I'm still disappointed in you, Mion. Your calculations are really off today. Bullshit! You can't dodge that shot. It will go straight through you and you'll regret the moment you chose to come at me screaming rather than creeping up from behind. Well, what she forgot is that there were 2 other people that were trying to beat her up. We'll see what's gonna happen. Then after that I think I'm gonna finish because it's been already 42 minutes that we're playing. Jeez. You're really disappointing me today, Mion. You could have figured it out if you spent just 1 more second to think. You could have figured out the reason why I didn't creep up on you but screamed as loud as I could instead. Mion noticed my surprise attack and turned around to face me. In other words, she turned her back on the opponent she was fighting earlier. Most opponent heard my scream and saw that she had turned back on them. What's this? Mion noticed her back was wet and cold. She finally understood that the underclassmen she was attacking just earlier had shown their fangs and attacked her from behind. I blocked her water shot with my arms right before it hit my chest. The line of water was broken into droplets and splattered away. Damn it! I got it first, so my shot didn't count. You took too long to figure it out. Now get down, Mion. Mion squatted down and covered her head. Now it was me versus Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun. Their reflexes weren't so bad. They knew well that I'd be their next target after Mion was gone. They didn't feel sorry at all for attacking me right after I just saved them from their predicament. I can respect the cruelty nor how quickly they shifted gears. They may one day be able to join our club if they keep refining their sense and skill. Our next target is Maribara-san! Let's get him! It's 1 against 2! We can take him! They were, however, 1 step behind me. It was already too late. For them, Mion was their first target and I was next. But I was different. My first target was them from the start. I didn't even see Mion as my target to begin with because I knew they'd take care of her. I was pointing my guns at them long before they moved their sight from Mion to me. It seemed like they noticed at the last moment that both of my guns had been pointing at them from the beginning. Which meant it was already too late for them. Warrior! I jumped over Mion, rolled on the ground and landed on my feet. I looked as elegant as an athlete who had just finished a perfect performance. I had a gun in each of my hands, and with those guns I shot them each in the middle of her chest. So fast! How could the two of us lose against one? Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun fell to their knees in disappointment. I can't believe you did all this, Kei-chan. I guess I'm off today, like you said. Mion whipped the dirt off her knees, looking frustrated. Don't worry, it wasn't you. But why did I lose? That's simple. I trailed my guns on the tips of my fingers. I have to win sometimes in order to keep looking so cool. I have to win sometimes in order to keep looking so cool. There were only a few people left alive. Rena, Satoko and myself. Oh, I guess Rika lost. Rena and Satoko were fighting fiercely. Were they evenly matched? No, Satoko was pushing her hard. Moving fast, she was driving Rena into a corner. Rena was usually gentle and slow, but today she was different. She was very serious today, and yet Satoko was still overwhelming her. She's a tough customer, even without her tricky traps. Do you remember threatening me earlier? I suppose you were just bluffing. You move well, but I'm still going to win. Satoko kept moving around, piling on pressure in order to pin Rena down. She kept shooting, so her tank must have almost been empty, but her shots were still sharp and fast. I noticed a bucket near her feet, which was full of many water guns. I understood, seeing that she had been taking guns from others who were already out of the game. In this battle, reloading bullets, water, was more crucial than the actual shooting. The hole that you put water into on these guns is rather small. To put water through it from a faucet takes time and requires a certain amount of skill. In a battle like this, it would almost be suicidal. I understand that well, so I'd been taking guns from the people I defeated, but I could only hold one in each hand. Satoko used a bucket to overcome the limit. Rena looked like she had only one water gun. I'd assumed she had two earlier, but she must have used a lot of water during her long battle with Satoko. It looked like she was trying to save her water from the right moment, but with Satoko's fierce attacks, it was obvious that it was only a matter of time before Rena was driven into a corner. However, Rena is also quite skilled. She only pretended to be driven into a corner, but she was actually luring Satoko to a place where she would have the advantage. There was a narrow, twisting path near the gymnasium warehouse behind the school building. With Rena's water level running low, she'd want to turn things around with a single close-range shot. That narrow path was a perfect place for her to do that. What's wrong? You're slowing down a little. Getting tired? Oh ho ho! I appreciate your concern, but I'm not tired at all. I think you should worry more about your remaining water. You haven't shot back at me for a while. Your tank is empty, I suppose? If you think so, why don't you stop hiding and show your face? I will pass. I'm aware you've been holding on to your last shot. One shot is all I need. I'll be nice and shoot you in the forehead. I don't want you to get your clothes wet after all. Oh ho ho ho! I never imagined I could have such a thrilling battle with you, Rena-san. However, with the amount of water you have remaining, I doubt you have enough pressure to make that last shot go far. Satoko was right about that. Rena has just enough water to make one last shot. As the amount of water left in the tank dwindles, the range of shots you can make shortens. That makes the last shot the shortest and weakest of them all. Regardless of her absolutely disadvantageous situation, Rena didn't look frustrated. I could tell she had no intention to lose. It was almost like she didn't even see Satoko as a threat. You picked a perfect location for yourself, did you not? I have to tread cautiously. Satoko seems to understand how dangerous Rena's last shot was going to be better than I did, since she was the one actually fighting against her. I don't play chess very often, but I believe this kind of situation is called a stalemate, is it not? Satoko took out another gun with a full tank and shortened the distance between them slowly and carefully. A gun with a full tank doesn't only have a long range, it also has enough power to make shots more accurate. If they shot at each other in a frontal attack, Satoko would have a 99% chance to win. Even so, Satoko was still afraid of Rena's last shot. Satoko shortened the distance even further, smiling as if unafraid, but I could tell she was actually full of fear. Satoko compared this situation to chess earlier, but it wasn't exactly the same. In chess, you can use some pieces to drive the opponent's king into a corner, but in this case, there were only Rena and Satoko. You can lose some of your pieces in order to achieve a win, but Satoko doesn't have any pieces other than herself. A king can drive the other king into a corner alone. That's called a stalemate. That's why, while at first glance it looks like Satoko has the absolute advantage, they're actually on equal footing. Let us finish this. It's not like us to wait for the bell to bring an end to this battle. You're right. Let's do this. That's strange, I thought. When I wouldn't have to move just on a dare from Satoko. What kind of plan did she have? Rena had been hiding behind cover for a while, but she came out without hesitation. I noticed something right away. Rena had a different gun. Satoko seemed to notice it as well. I had a plan to hide here when my water went low. I hid a gun in advance. Damn, she's good. In using a trap at the last moment for a come-from-behind victory, it was I thought she was taking Satoko's best kill from her and firing it right back. Satoko no longer had any advantages now that both of them were pointing their guns at each other with full tanks. But she still looked confident. What was going on? Did she have some kind of plan too? That gun you're holding right now is very important to me. What do you mean? You would have kept waiting for your perfect shot and wouldn't have come out of hiding if you didn't have that gun. At that moment, lightning ran through my brain and I instantly understood the situation. Of course! When I was in a disadvantageous situation earlier, but it was actually the same for Satoko, since she didn't have a chance to make a shot while Rena was in hiding. Rena had remained cautious in order to hit with her last shot, and that made it difficult for Satoko to attack her. However, what if Rena didn't need to take the last shot from a come-from-behind victory? No, I said it wrong. What if Rena got a new gun with a full tank? She would stop hiding and come out to fight against Satoko. You see, I knew from the beginning that you would run over here in order to obtain that gun. Let Satoko talk crap, Rena. You don't have to listen to her. Just shoot her right now. Rena thought the same thing. She shot at Satoko without any hesitation, but obviously there will be no water in it, that's why she's saying this. But she frowned in confusion a moment after. What was going on? She couldn't shoot? Was the water gun broke? Or did somebody break it? Didn't you know that you can easily break a water gun by putting a little bit of sand in an empty tank and pulling the trigger several times? Oh ho ho ho! You knew I was hiding my trump card here and pulled a cheap trick like that, huh? I told you. You only set one small trap at the last moment. That is the beauty of traps. When it comes to traps, Satoko remained a notch above Rena after all. I couldn't believe Satoko figured out Rena's plans in advance and set a trap to counter it. Rena, you made a big mistake. You should have kept the old gun with you. You could have at least made that last shot. But it's too late now for you to pick it up again. Rena was in a worse situation than she was before. She couldn't even take another shot. Be prepared! You told me earlier that you would shoot me in the forehead, did you not? Well, I will be at least kind enough to do you the same favor. Satoko slowly narrowed her distance again and pointed the muzzle at Rena's forehead. Rena still didn't look like she had given up. She still thought the game wasn't decided. Satoko-chan, you're not as good as you think you are. What did you say? If you got me with your trap, it'd be your right as the winner to allow yourself the room to breathe and smile like you're doing right now. But all you've done is drive me into a tough spot. You haven't killed me yet. Don't you think it's a little too early for you to act like you've already got me? Oh, I thought you were going to say something much scarier than that. It makes no difference because I'm going to get you right now. If I were you, I'd just shoot rather than keep talking. You know why? Because if I didn't, I'd lose. Lose? Are you talking about me? I highly doubt you can fight with a jammed water gun. Do you remember the rule? You hit when it's water from a water gun. Huh? So, what are you saying? When I heard her saying that, I started grinning. My target was Rena. Satoko was already dead to me. Why? She was going to be shot by Rena within the second. I have absolutely no idea what you're referring to, Rena-san. What do you think you can do with a jammed water gun? As long as I have water in my gun, I can still fight. Don't you get it yet? Rena raised a broken water gun up high and smashed its handle on the wall of the school building as hard as she could. The plastic broke easily and water flowed out of it. As long as the water from the gun hits you, you're dead. It doesn't matter when the water comes out. Rena was right. She just saved herself by thinking it through. If she was using a real gun, bullets would only come out from one end of the gun. But it was a water gun. She could make her bullets, water in this case, come out from any place, not just the barrel of a gun. What? Satoko finally realized that she was standing defenselessly in front of Rena. Satoko's trap was successful, but she overestimated its effect. She should have just shot Rena without hesitation. Before Rena noticed her new water gun was jammed. She was going to fail because she had grown overconfident of her victory. A second before Satoko pulled the trigger, Rena swung a water gun as if slashing Satoko with a sword. Satoko fired her bullets, but it was too late. A second before Rena would be shot down, a blade of water hit Satoko in the face. No, not hit. It cut her face open. Your endgame wasn't good enough. I can't believe I lost. Rena ran towards Satoko, who was standing still in shock, and took her water gun. Rena knew I was her last target, and that I was running towards her. Rena! Rena, using her superior mobility, began to duck and weave. We were evenly matched. Neither of us neglected to make any effort possible to take advantage of the situation. Alright, I'm gonna stop here because it's already been an hour that I'm actually recording. Thank you so much for watching Toss a Show. I hope that actually would make you want to see who win. Will it be Rena? Will it be Keiichi? Or would it be somebody else? If you really like the show, please thumbs up, like this video on YouTube. Make sure that you see in my description how to subscribe to my channel and how to go to my Facebook page and subscribe to my Facebook page. Alright, that's all folks for today. That was your host Taz, and see you very soon. Bye bye!